All right, this is Epic Sketch Time 2016 number 13, I think. My name is James Stowe. I'm a cartoonist and illustrator. I make sidekick quests for a living, sort of. And with me tonight are...
My name is Mark Monolux. I do the comic critic and the return of Stickman.
And my name is Pat McEwen. I draw a comic called The Devil and Mr. Gandhi.
Still the best titled webcomic of all time. All right, and for the next hour or so, we are going to be drawing epically. We might have some other guests as we draw. We might talk a little bit. We might not. Who knows? I'm going to be working on my yearly April Fool's comic. And maybe some other stuff tonight. I don't know what these gentlemen are going to be working on, but we'll see.
But once I have my Photoshop file up and running, I plan on doing a couple of Stickman strips tonight.
Cool.
I have texted Bill.
Great.
Oh, there's Bill. That was fast.
So I just saw Deadpool finally.
Oh, great. So you can finally talk about it.
Yeah, you've seen it?
Yeah, I saw it a couple weekends ago, but I didn't want to give you any spoilers.
Sure, sure. It was okay. It was exactly what I expected out of the movie. I was surprised they had so much fun with the Colossus character.
Being a big Colossus fan, I was kind of pleased with that.
Yeah, you know, they didn't just, I mean, he was actually, they played him like a Boy Scout, which is very interesting. Which I guess they had to, considering who he was palling around with. But the fact that he was actually doing stuff was great.
You never saw him in human form, though. He was always walking around in the...
Well, he was a CGI effect. I mean, pretty much through the whole movie. Like, I don't even know if there was an actor attached to him, you know? As much as there was a guy just doing the voice.
By the way, if you take a look at my screen, as a matter of fact, I think I might share it. Go up here. And
Ooh, I like the background there. That's gorgeous.
I kind of wanted to give it that...
That's some great kaleidoscoping.
There's a blue layer, a yellow layer, and kind of a burgundy layer, and I kind of did blend transitions, as you can see by the masks over here. And I decided to leave them at 100% rather than tone them down to kind of go for that whole atomic color effect. Another thing I did was I normally add a tint layer.
Yeah, no, that's really nice.
But you'll notice that I decided to add a yellow layer, and I'm going to knock that up to 100% real quick. So now you can see where all the little yellow splotches are, but I only have those going at like around 44. I kind of notched those down, just to kind of tie them in a little bit more with the background. But yeah, I'm kind of pleased with that card. And I actually did this 3-color rainbow effect on a number of the cards I did. I will quit sharing now. So I'm kind of curious, Stowe, whose screen is being recorded at most times?
Who's what?
Well, I'm kind of curious. Right now, we're all screen sharing.
Oh, I think it's me by default.
Okay.
Yeah.
Patrick, it's late in your neck of the woods.
It is.
Yeah, but
Tell
isn't
us.
it always?
What's
Tell
that?
us.
I said, isn't it always at these things?
In Pennsylvania, it's eternally nighttime and dark. Yes.
That's true. I've come from Pennsylvania, and I can attest to that. Although you're in a more urban area, I imagine, than I grew up in. You're near Philly, right?
Yeah, not too far away.
Stowe, weren't you possibly in the most rural part of Pennsylvania there was?
That's saying a lot, considering there's Amish people there. Uh, but yes, I was. I grew up in Columbia County, which had Amish people, and 900 other people that I grew up with, and they were all related to each other in one form or another. And I was a transplant from New Jersey. But I do miss Pennsylvania, especially the food.
So I drew this stickman strip a couple days ago. I'll put it up on the big screen. And I don't know if anyone even heard about this news story. That a guy was throwing tomatoes at Donald Trump and he got arrested by the Secret Service, and in
Oh
the
yeah, I've heard that one. Hey, did you hear what just happened to him? Well,
no,
at
well,
least,
wasn't there a Twitter war today?
I don't know about that, but his campaign manager just got arrested for simple battery of a journalist. I'm going to stay my campaign manager because I don't give up on people, which I thought was hilarious. Wait, was he literally only fined $65
He was literally only fined $65.
for throwing a tomato at a presidential candidate?
He didn't hit the guy.
Yeah, but he threw it at him.
Yes, it was a tomato. Not like he was throwing a rock.
There could have been a rock in the tomato.
It's a very rare breed of tomato that has rocks in it.
$65 just seems really, really low.
Maybe the judge was feeling the burn.
Yeah.
I'm kind of ashamed to say that I didn't go and caucus this weekend.
Yeah, I couldn't. I had a 5-girl slumber party I had to oversee. My daughter, my beautiful, smart, intelligent baby girl, is 10 years old now, which just freaks me out. Everybody must be deeply consumed in whatever they're working on. It's a quiet night in Epic Sketch Time today.
Well, I'm lettering, so I'm trying not to misspell things.
That does take a lot of brain power. Hey, Bill, do you have a Twitter account?
Bill, I think you're muted. Huh.
I will answer for Bill. Bill does indeed have a Twitter account. It is at WP Morse.
Oh, thanks. Because I tried to share who's done this every week, and I didn't realize he had an account. Is it sad that I follow him?
What? And you didn't know? You didn't check first? By the way, proud to say that the other week I got 2,500 followers on Twitter.
Wow, that's great. More than me. You know, it's been a long time since I've drawn a mashup of two very popular things, so I have not gained any followers in a while. Not that I'm jaded. No, no. Although I did just draw a retreat reward for somebody. Here, wait a minute. I'll show it. There you go. Can you guys see that?
Ah, very nice.
Ha!
He only asked for Bezig and Indigo, but I threw in Vizzini because you know I gotta. I don't know how I did with the likenesses, but I like the composition as well.
That's very fun.
So, Mark, did you like Deadpool?
I enjoyed Deadpool.
Yeah.
But I think I mentioned this in a previous conversation that the fellow I was with, I had to explain who Deadpool was and what he was about.
Right.
Because he had no idea. Oh, Bill, we can finally hear you.
Oh, really? Okay, I hope that turning it on and off again worked.
And I have another friend of mine who's a big Deadpool fanatic, and so naturally he gave it a 10.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely think they captured the character really well.
But I have a hard time giving it more than a 7.
I could see overall it didn't like wow me. It was a great representation of the character, but wasn't. I don't think I would watch another movie starring Deadpool. I would watch another movie that Deadpool was in.
Yeah, I mean, I never was a biggest fan of the character. It's sort of like
Well,
too much of the supporting a psycho, rooting for a sociopath thing.
well, there's definitely a lot of that in the movie. I mean, there wasn't a well-adjusted person in the whole film.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Colossus.
Yeah. Though, to a certain extent, that Colossus might fit into how I read Starbuck when reading Moby Dick and say that there's not a sane person in the book, and people say, well, what about Starbuck? And I'll say, well, he went in the completely opposite direction.
Yeah, I don't know how legitimate saying Colossus is the nice, sane one when, I mean, he literally throws Deadpool aside as a, hello, we're here to recruit you. I'm just going to toss you away from that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the action speaks to a little bit of previous history that they didn't bother touching on.
Oh no, they bring that up, I think, successfully. I will say the one-liners were so good.
Yeah, I have to agree that all of the breaking the fifth wall was done very nicely.
Yep, I would agree with that.
It was, like, as you said, totally in keeping with Deadpool comics in general.
Yep.
So at 9 o'clock on Tuesdays, my wife likes to watch iZombie.
Uh-huh.
I tried that show. It didn't stick.
Or is it to the original comic book?
It was done at the same time as the comic book. It's a whole cross-media thing. I haven't read any of the comics.
Interesting.
I don't think that's the case. I feel like iZombie came out about 3 years ago.
iZombie was a while ago. I mean, there might be a new
Did the
one.
comics come out at the exact same time it released?
No, I thought it was at least a year before.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, pretty much the comic is quite good and interesting, and I actually enjoyed the episodes of the show that I've seen, but the show is a vehicle for Rob Thomas, who has his own style of TV making, and it's definitely like a murder mystery TV show with the zombie thing as kind of a backdrop. So its connection to the comic is really only in certain non-essential ways.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember in the comic it was kind of murder mysteries too, because she has to eat the brains, and then because the side effect of eating the brains is having that person's memories, and
Yeah, the comic ran from 2010 to 2012. The TV series started in 2013. The lead character of the TV series is Liv. or the lead character of the comic. I didn't know it was an all-red comic.
Who did you say the lead character of the comic was?
Gwen something or other. But it was a Mike Allred comic.
Yeah. I knew he at least did the art. I didn't know if...
art.
So, Bill, any ideas of what this week's double feature you're going to do for yourself?
Oh, I've still been thinking about that. This week didn't really work for me, I'm afraid. But this week I was doing documentary, mockumentaries, which consisted of hardcore poster and hardcore copy, was it? And 24-hour party.
What? You didn't go with the Ruddles and what's the classic?
This is Spinal Tap.
Yes.
Well, as I've said many times before, I'd already seen This is Spinal Tap. So my regret is the one. There was another one that was listed, sounded interesting, but they didn't have it, which was a Fracton or something like that. It was essentially a German This is Spinal Tap.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes. Because it's sort of like the two that I watched turned out to be actually using the documentary form for narrative, but were actually fairly serious.
Did that make it good?
I don't know about that. As I said, neither of the two films did much for me.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one was about this Canadian metal band who are having essentially what is this reunion tour, but everything goes wrong. And the second one is essentially
So this is Spinal Tap.
what?
So it's basically the plot of Spinal Tap.
More or less, but not a lot more serious. So, for example, the crazy band, the crazy drummer really is crazy because he lost his meds in the trip. And then the other one is kind of a romanticized history of the Manchester scene in the 90s. You know, starting after Sid and Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly about the record label factory recordings and everything that went wrong with that label because it was mostly going along with this. It was pretty much used to subsidize this club that was also playing the music. They barely broke even at the best of times. But no, I haven't thought of yet what I'm planning to pick up tomorrow.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Is it too late to send an invite out to? Looks like Jim Kersey is joining in.
Hey,
Jim.
good evening.
Is it too late to send an invite out to? Looks like Jim Kersey. What's going on?
Hey, guys.
Hey, good evening. Jim.
No, somebody is still watching us on the main screen. Close that.
It's an endless loop.
Alright, this is really weird. Somebody needs to stop doing that.
It's the new guy.
Oh my goodness, this is stuff or something.
It's the new guy.
Oh man. Can I mute you? Let's see if I can mute you. I muted him. Yay.
Well, maybe if he can kill the viewing at the same time. There's always the chat room, Lincoln Tuckin.
Oh my god, I love looking at how people organize stuff. Looking at Jim's screen is amazing. I am nowhere near that organized ever.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna unmute Jim. See
Yeah,
what
let's
happens.
hope that he.
Am I muted? Sorry about that.
There you go. No, I muted you. I'm sorry.
So what are you using here?
So this is Clip Studio, and I took a comic that I did several years ago and sort of cut it up into smaller pieces, and now I'm getting about one day out of half of a page.
You know, that's what I've just started doing with my comic. Chopping them up into smaller bits.
So yeah, I just need to color them, and I'm in pretty good shape.
So as you can see, Jim, we have been very chatty tonight.
Seems like we're all pretty focused.
Yeah.
Yes, this is not epic chat time. Epic talking time. You know, and stuff.
So Pat, who are you sousing?
Well, might be better for me to get off of screen share mode here for a second. So I'm doing kind of an experiment of I don't consider myself a full-time philatelist, but I do find stamps to be interesting, and I bought a sheet of Dr. Seuss stamps. So to celebrate, I kind of gave away some I Will Seuss You prizes, and I had people send me a photograph that I would then turn into like a Seuss-style drawing. So here is one of them.
Nice.
And here is another from a photo.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, those are
And
beautiful.
what I did also was I wanted some background elements that I could change in and out. So this is kind of like a Seuss-style castle.
Okay.
And this is the kind of tree from the Lorax.
The truffula trees.
So I'm just playing around at the moment with coloring them in. But I'm going to send out the original art to the people that I promised them to. But I also want to work on like what you're seeing here, which is a kind of a format. And I'm looking to have it so that I can affix the stamp to that kind of template as well. So I'm going to be working on that for a little while.
Yeah. No, that's turning out very nicely.
Yeah, no, I agree. Those are gorgeous.
Yeah, it's funny. I never read Dr. Seuss as a kid. I don't read Dr. Seuss now. I love his World War II cartoons.
Oh, yes.
And I just love the fact that, like, of the children's book illustrators, like, he is the most, like, cartoonist of children's book illustrators.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Maurice Sendak, but he is like a fine artist who happens to do children's books, whereas Dr. Seuss was a straight-up cartoonist, which I think is pretty awesome. I'm also thinking of doing a short comic all in the style of Dr. Seuss that will be very not very Seussy, but will have the style of Seuss.
Right. Well, I really enjoyed your Nemo styled comics. You kind of did.
I had so much fun doing that. Yeah,
I could tell.
they are just incredible to look at. Like, I wish I had the money to get the kind of like big artist editions of the Winsor McCay Sundays, and or even get like actual copies of the newspapers. They're just incredibly gorgeous and gorgeously styled comics.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that era.
Yeah.
Lucky that the junior high school that I went to had a full-size replica of the Little Nemo books. So they had done a reprinting of them at some point, and I was just having so much fun reading through those.
The final person that I agreed to make into a Seuss picture is Vince Dorse, who does the Untold Tales of Bigfoot.
Oh, I love that one.
And he finally got me a photo to turn into a Seuss drawing, so I'll have to get to work on that as well.
So, Stowe, remember our conversation from yesterday? I decided to go with Zardoz.
Oh, great. Love that movie.
Yeah, I remember when I saw it for my review. I was very surprised that it was nothing like what I expected it to be.
Yeah, that's Zardoz, all right.
I mean, I was expecting it to be something like Road Warrior or Boy and His Dog, and instead it's this weird acid trip.
Looks like I'm getting ready to start drawing my 1,600th episode of Stickman.
Wow.
Holy moly. That's a lot.
Yeah, and I haven't been
Well-
drawing more than like one a week lately, so I feel kind of bad.
Yeah, I mean, where am I on Rhapsodies?
Yeah, you're catching up on me really fast, Bill, because I have not been producing.
I am 200 and 226 away from 3,000.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Uh-huh. I should throw a party or something when I get there. This time I mean it. Yeah. I mean, things are getting pretty weird. I suddenly found it odd that I'm beginning to work on the Christmas story right in the middle of the summer.
It's good to have that buffer. How far out are you?
Oh, not very good. I'm still about 2 weeks.
I draw one strip a week, and I only have a 1 week buffer.
Mhm.
And it's going to be gone once I do Emerald City. So.
I have never, ever been able to build up a buffer.
Yeah, Emerald City's going to be crazy this year. Heck, Sakuracon was crazy enough. I'm half tempted to do the same shtick I've been doing for Sakuracon for Emerald City.
Just go down there and sketch people in the lobby?
Yeah. Well, actually, the park behind there, the lobby can be kind of hectic.
Do you not get a table? You just go
What?
people?
I really haven't. Not counting helping Mark last year, I kind of got priced out of it.
Ah. Yeah, I couldn't get off the waiting list this year. But I didn't try very hard.
I mean, I used to do it semi-religiously, but it was putting me so deep in the hole that I finally said to myself, okay, if you're able to pay for it with this weekend's profits, you can go again, but not even close.
Yeah, what was it this year? It was expensive this year.
About, I think it was $375.
Yeah.
What's that little plunk sound?
I don't know. Although it is just about that time.
Well, I'm going to linger a little longer if other people are.
Yeah.
Bill, don't you head off to a drinking group?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd been skipping it for the last few weeks because I didn't have my bicycle anymore, but that problem has been solved. And I look forward to trying my new light for the first time. Because the downside of getting a new light just when it stops being dark is that you don't get to test it out.
Well, I think it's about time for me to take off. Everybody have a nice rest of your night.
Okay.
And I'll see you
Good night,
next week.
Patrick. So, Stowe, I see that you're doing the various game sheets, character sheets.
Yeah.
Is this a way to wrap up this particular chapter?
A couple weeks back and asked that I do for the for the April Fool's comic, one where they're just sitting around and playing like a real life version. And that gave me the idea that I've never actually shown the people who are playing the game, despite making several references to it being a game.
Oh,
So I thought for this,
I always assumed it was a fantasy setting
April
for kids.
Fools is a great time to do something with that. What's that?
I always assumed it was a fantasy setting for children, as opposed to it being a framing device and it's the kids playing the game.
And the players themselves. So this Friday will be the first time you actually be playing the game.
Uh-huh. Cool.
Yeah, hopefully. And if it doesn't work out, then I can always treat it like it was.
Strictly an April Fool's thing?
That's right, exactly. So for me, it's a win-win. Oh, I might as well show it. It's been. So this is tomorrow's comic.
Hey, I've seen that. Being
Yep.
a patron
It's up
supporter.
on Patreon right now, but this is the first time I've ever killed anybody. I'm curious to see what the reaction of that is going to be, if any.
I've killed off a lot of nameless characters in my strip. But,
Yeah, I actually killed my favorite character. He was definitely the moral guidepost of the group. And he definitely did not deserve to die. That being said, I killed him anyway. My kids have been mad at me for months because of it.
Uh,
by the way, James, I've been enjoying your daily comic. Oh, I wonder who's that calling. Hang on. Congratulations and salutations. You've reached Mark Mullix and Mullix Illustrations, home to Korea Mine, also home to residents Krista Broxman. This is Mark speaking to you on a grand and glorious Tuesday afternoon, no evening. What can I do to help you with my wonderful skills and talents extraordinary? This is 9 a.m. And they hung up. There we go.
That was amazing.
That's how I answer the phone. And the fringe benefit of doing it that way is that telemarketers think I'm an answer machine.
All the time?
Pardon me? What did you say, Stowe?
Oh, you before and never gotten that treatment. Do I have to call your landline in order to
Yes,
get
you have to call my landline.
His breath control is amazing.
I started doing that answering message many years ago. It all started when a client was in my home office when I lived in Ballard, and someone called up and I said, "You mind if I take this?" And he said, "No, go right ahead." And so I picked up the phone. I went, "What?" And then I was very rude to the person on the phone, and I hung up. He says, "Oh my God, that's terrible." I said, "What? You're so rude on the phone." "Am I?" He says, "Yeah." And I said, "What? I should be sweet and effervescent and bubbly?" And he says, "Yes, most definitely." And just right on cue, the phone rang again, and I picked it up, and that entire spiel just came pouring out of me. My client started laughing, and the guy on the other end of the phone started laughing. And then when I hung up from that conversation, the client that was with me in my office, he goes, "I bet you $50 right now, hard money, that the next time I call, you do not do that spiel." I said, "You're on. But you have to call sometime within the next week." So I started doing the spiel every time I picked up the phone, and sure enough, he called about 3 days later, and I gave him the spiel. And I have found it to be an extremely useful device. It puts me in charge of the conversation. The other person is put into a good mood. I have clients who call up just to hear me say that on speakerphone so they can let other people hear it.
So the whole thing again? Can you give me the whole?
Okay, I'll do the whole thing from the beginning. Congratulations and oh, pardon me. Doesn't sound.
So you don't have a phone in your hands.
Yeah, hang on. Gotta pick up the phone. Someone go ring ring.
Ring ring.
Congratulations and salutations. You've reached Mark Mullick's Mullick's Illustrations, home of the creative mind, and also home residence of Krista Broxman. This is Mark speaking to you on a grand and glorious Tuesday afternoon. What can I do to help you with my wonderful skills and talents extraordinary this fine day? This is not answering last, but now Scott person. Hello.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, that's a talent I did not know you possessed.
And you've known me for how long?
Quite some time. What, 7 years, something like that?
I've been aware for a while since he was giving it to me until we started talking on Skype and FaceTime.
Yeah, once I realized who's calling on the other end of the phone.
You know, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always make snarky remarks about his timing and his being able to do it in one breath or not.
Yeah, and I had this one client who, just as a malicious trick on April Fools, kept calling me up and then hanging up just so I would get winded.
Yeah, dude, I want to just call every once in a while now just to hear it.
Is that somebody texting? No, it can't be.
No, I think it's somebody's internet alerts or some sort. It's right up there with, I think it's your squeaky chair. It's just one of those sounds I hear a lot when I'm filming this thing. Somebody's got a squeaky chair. I'm not saying who it is, but somebody's got it.
Oh, is that my squeaky chair? Sorry.
That's it right there.
Now I'm feeling all self-conscious.
Well, you know what? I think I need to go take care of my kids, get them ready for bed.
Yeah.
So I need to sign off. And I think if I sign off, you guys are going to get disconnected.
Okay, well, it was fun doing it with you guys this week. I'll look forward to it next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send everybody an invite again next week. Have a great one. This has been Epic Sketch Time number 13. Have a great night.
Okay.